Valley, Clemson, South Carolina. Clemson fans are professionals at tailgating. No amateurs need apply. And the Tigers about to have their home opener, the 121st in school history. And Tiger fans are ready to welcome Clemson back to the football field here this afternoon. Great to be here. This is always a wonderful environment. It's a team loaded with talent. Finding a big hole across the 10, and he is into the end zone.
Across the board, maybe as good as any group in the country.
We welcome you to ACC Network Primetime Football. And from Clemson, the Tigers are about to take on SC State. So good of you to join us. Down the hill come the Tigers, one of the great moments in college football. And we are so happy to be with you, Dave O'Brien, alongside my colleague, Tim Hasselbeck, former NFL quarterback, and also Kelsey Riggs will be joining us in just a moment from the sideline. Hard to believe that Clemson is trying to snap a two-game losing skid going back to last season.
They are, and if you listen to the talk nationally, a lot of people talking about the demise of Clemson football, but there is just way too much talent on this football team. And Dabo Swinney looks back to week 1 against Georgia, and he feels like many of their mistakes are correctable, and that bodes well for this Clemson football team.
For more on tonight, let's toss it down to Kelsey Riggs on the sideline.
Well, DJ Uiagalelei all this week held himself accountable for last week and how things went against Georgia. He said he made some bad reads. He didn't do great in the pocket, but he said he's a competitor, and he was the first one in the building the next day, making sure he's working on correcting those mistakes. He says he never wants that to happen again. His word for this year is trust. He says trust the process, and he told us over and over again, God never says oops. He's not going to say oops about last week. He's going to take it and learn from it and trust the process, and he'll get to do that in front of a packed stadium here tonight, guys.
Uiagalelei, of course, sacked 7 times by the Georgia defense, which is certainly going to be one of the toughest defenses anyone is going to face all season long. Look at this crowd, 80,000 packed in, no limitations, no partial crowds, and they are ready to rock and roll on this Saturday. And cannot wait to get it underway against South Carolina State, who won the toss, and they deferred, so Clemson will receive the opening kick. And the offense will be given a chance right away. Offense that only produced 3 points against the Bulldogs, but Clemson can take comfort in some recent history. In 2014, they lost their season opener, also to Georgia, but that Tiger team would lead the nation in total defense, allowing just about 260 yards per game. As mentioned, their 121st home opener. They've won 96 of them, and this one would be their 18th in a row if they come out victorious. Just a beautiful day in South Carolina, turning into a great night, and set for the kickoff. And the Bulldogs with the opening kick. And Shipley will take that as he crosses the 20 and stacked up around the 25-yard line. And that's where the first drive will begin. So DJ coming out. 6'4", about 250. Can call him Big Cinco as well. And he really blamed himself for that loss to Georgia, Tim. Went 19 for 37, 178 yards. Number of poor throws. The coaches said he was moving too much in the pocket, holding on to the ball too much.
He didn't play well, especially the first 2.5 quarters of the game, but they were happy with how he finished the football game.
First down and 10. Handoff will go to Dixon. Dixon will break that across the 40, pick up the first down very quickly. That's a 16-yard gain for Lynn J. Dixon. And they're going to move it quick. Striking immediately for a first down. It's Dixon again. He's going to bounce outside and get across the 45-yard line before he is driven out of play.
You see the first two plays of the game, they're running the football. I think one of the things going back to last week is you see just touches by the running backs, only 9 carries and 2 catches. And when we asked about their run in the production game, Tony Ellett kind of put it on himself, saying, I need to give those guys more opportunities, clearly starting off that way.
Yeah, really second-guessed himself, and a short pass at the feet of Justin Ross, and that's going to pick up 4.
And I do think, so much of it as we look at DJ Uiagalelei, like he was trying to get him involved, get him a rhythm, and I think maybe he felt like in the process of doing that, didn't let his talented running backs touch the ball enough.
Pace in the backfield with him, and he'll take the football straight ahead. Kobe Pace with a carry. He'll pick up a first down. So moving it right away. And we're likely to see, 4, 5, 6 different running backs touch the football tonight. First down and 10 for the Tigers on their first drive. And the handoff, it's Pace again. Pace will bounce. He's bouncing inside, shedding tacklers across the 30-yard line. An impressive run for 16. Kobe Pace, a 5'10" sophomore out of the state of Georgia. He can catch the football as well. Another first down for the Tigers.
Yeah, and a really nice cutback by him. Good movement front side, and this is just a nice job of working his way back.
Uiagalelei will fire. That one out into the flat and complete. Caught by Ross. First down again. Justin Ross, ability-wise, certainly Clemson's most explosive player.
And you just see like the rhythm. Part of getting a quarterback in the rhythm is running the football. Give you better opportunities in the passing game.
Tigers moving it fast on this opening drive. DJ will hand off, and Shipley with the carry. Will Shipley, the freshman, picks up 3 on that carry. Preseason freshman All-American. The coaches just love his confidence. They talk about Tim, how he commands respect on the field.
Which is interesting for a true freshman, but yeah, I think it's his work ethic. He's humble, but yet he's confident, and I think a lot of players have already responded well to him.
And up to Shipley again. He'll dart inside, still bowling ahead. Gets inside the 5. Picks up another first down, first and goal coming up as he gains 8.
Yeah, and obviously it's a different opponent from a week ago, but you just see the production in the run game on this drive alone. And then Shipley's strength. I think a lot of talk about his speed, but you saw his strength running in between the tackles there as well.
Now the Tigers wasting no time in the sunshine at home. First and goal. And keeping it now, the quarterback is in for the touchdown. DJ for 6. A 3-yard touchdown run for the Tigers. And keeping it on the ground almost exclusively on that opening drive. So 9 plays, 72 yards. Only took 3 minutes and 22 seconds. BT Potter on for the point after, and a 7-0 lead for Clemson.
Really good job on that entire drive running the football, Dave, and it was almost like they were setting it up for the the finisher. DJ Uiagalelei keeps it, is able to walk in. Good start for the Clemson offense.
Had to feel great for the Clemson Tigers. 9 plays, 72 yards, 3 minutes and 22 seconds and a touchdown. They had not scored a touchdown in the previous 13 drives. That was over 2 games.
Which is really hard to believe when you think about how much talent has been on this offense dating back to last year, obviously this year. And had to feel good. A little bit of balance on that drive as well.
Richard Bailey back in the end zone. And they will bring it out.
Now you go back to the touchdown. Look at Chad Gilchrist at the bottom of the screen, number 11. DJ Uiagalelei is just going to read him. He squeezes down. He keeps the football, and it's a walk-in touchdown. And think how many times we saw that with Trevor Lawrence. Not known as a running quarterback, but the threat of the quarterback as a runner, especially in the red zone, is just kind of a huge part of what Clemson's offense was able to do, and clearly DJ able to do that also.
Corey Fields, the starting quarterback for the Bulldogs. He's the key to their offense. Very quick. He can run it as well. NC State head coach Buddy Pugh says that this is a great stage for his kids. He will get a quick toss off here and bring up second down. That'll be a 2-yard gain.
You know, Fields, they really like him as a player. Their offense has evolved at South Carolina State, and I think they feel like they can be a little more traditional with Corey Fields as their quarterback. He is a good athlete, as you mentioned, Dave, but he also does a nice job throwing from inside the pocket, and so I think we'll see some more traditional pass protection and route combinations on the edge.
Loss of 2, second down and 12. Fields with a handoff, and that one will go to Kendrell Flowers, who's a transfer who has played in the ACC before. He played at Wake Forest. He'll pick up a yard on that gain. Now, Buddy Pugh talking to us this week, he said, I may have to stop some of my guys from running down the hill with Clemson. It's going to be such an exciting thing to see in person. It's a game that really benefits both schools a lot. Bulldogs get a big payday of about $500,000, and Clemson gets to play a lot of their guys tonight. We're probably going to see over 100. Third down and 11. Fields back to throw, and will fire that one, tipped and incomplete. That was intended for Will Vereen to wide out. And they will be punting the football very quickly, 4th down and 11.
And Fields a little bit lucky here as he's trying to hit Vereen down the seam. I feel like he's a little bit late. If you can get this out sooner, there's a bit of a window. But on 3rd and 11, some of these known passing situations, you got to be careful with the football. And I mean, we've seen Andrew Booth make some serious plays throughout his career. He's lucky he didn't come up with one there.
So the Bulldogs have to punt it, and a short punt. And right at the 31-yard line, Clemson will take it. That is a short punt. We go back to last game against Georgia and the interception against the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and this is basically probably turning into a nightmare. The protection sliding right. DJ should have it sliding left. He should be throwing hot. He thinks he's throwing hot since Justin Ross breaks inside instead of breaking outside. And when he breaks inside, doesn't cross the safety's face. And on one play, you can find 3 mistakes that turn into a pick 6 for Georgia. And that's why when Dabo looked at the film afterwards, he said, look, these things are correctable. They're not like us. And I think it's one of the reasons he kind of was as optimistic as he was, Dave, about his team getting things turned around.
A flag on the play with 10:04 to go here in the first. And the Tigers in front by 7.
Offside, defense, number 57. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Now, South Carolina State has produced some outstanding players. Darius Leonard of the Indianapolis Colts, for example. Linebacker, won the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year. We've got 4 guys in the NFL Hall of Fame out of the SC State program. First down and 5. He'll dump it out short and completed to Davis Allen, one of the several tight ends we're likely to see tonight. That'll gain 3.
Yeah, you talk about little mistakes in your offense. Clearly, Kobe Pace is going the wrong direction, and just a miscommunication of sorts. And I think that was part of the issue a week ago. It was, hey, a receiver got the wrong signal, line slid the wrong way, quarterback drops the snap, and those are the little things when the margin for error is small when you're playing a good opponent that show up.
He'll step up, run with it. He'll fire downfield and caught. And it's going to be caught by Ross for a big first down and a gain of 36 for the Tigers. No, he's on about a dozen preseason All-American watch lists, but just to have him back, it's a great story.
Yeah, and you think about, last week was the first time he played in the game in about 600 days. So the fact that he's been back out here playing some ways been a little bit of a minor miracle.
Pace trying to spin in the center of the line before he's taken down. Another flag.
You know, he's playing inside, Justin Ross is, and does a good job of setting up the defender and then working for his quarterback, flattening off as the ball is just a little bit underthrown. And you know, he's moving from outside to inside. And you know, I think when you look at that, there's an adjustment to that, Dave, alongside coming off of the back injuries.
It's offsides on the Bulldogs. And into the red zone now, the Tigers, first down and 5. Will Shipley in the backfield. Clemson on top, 7-0. DJ to roll and fire, has a man wide open, but incomplete. And intended for Ross, he could not have been much more open.
No, it's a busted coverage, and it's just a really, you know, it's a missed throw. It's almost one of those throws where he's so open that you kind of panic, rush, and miss the wide receiver. But they're running a hitch outside. They're running a corner by Ross, and he's completely uncovered because of the blown coverage.
Second down and 5 for the Tigers. Knocking on the door again. And he's going to run into the end zone, and that's Will Taylor. Will Taylor in the game. He took the snap. He scores from 19. There is a flag down inside the 10-yard line.
Illegal block in the black. Offense number 10. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
So a couple of early mistakes here, certainly on this drive for the Tigers.
Yeah, and I think these are the things that looking back a week ago, Dabo was very clear about. Like, well, we can correct these things. These are coachable things. We're not just getting beaten.
Here's the block in the back.
And you know, and sometimes it looks like more of a shove than it is because the defender is going to make a tackle, but arms extended. You can see why the official would see it that way.
He's going to fire it again, and short to the sideline and complete. Joe with the catch. So Joe with that grab. Out of Brooks, Alberta, 6'3", 220. One of the big receivers that the Tigers have in abundance. And a wildcat look. It's Taylor again. Will Taylor has been a wide receiver and quarterback. He's going to keep it. He's going to try and dance before he is wrestled down by SC State.
What's interesting when they do that is Will Taylor will come on the field, and I think you have to treat him as a wide receiver. I mean, he's a return man, but he's got quarterback experience. When they run him on the field and leave DJ Uiagalelei on the field, it's just hard to set your personnel thinking that you're going to get the a direct snap to Will Taylor.
Uiagalelei back in there with the handoff. It's Shipley, and Shipley will scamper in from 7. And another touchdown for the Tigers. A freshman from Irmo, South Carolina, in from 7. So 67 yards, 6 plays in 2 minutes and 49 seconds into the end zone again.
And it's Shipley, running the football and just does such a good job of kind of working his way through, and then you see his speed just kind of running through the angles of the defenders.
Bottom of the extra point, and 14-0 Clemson.
After a couple of miscues, it's Will Shipley beating the angles of the defenders, and stand-up touchdown for Clemson.
Up next on ACC Network and the ESPN app. It's the day capped off by our ACC Network primetime football matchup. Presented by Geico, it's Jacksonville State taking on FSU. We're talking about the Clemson offense and running the football so effectively here in the first quarter. And Tim twice punching it into the end zone as anticipated against the Bulldogs. Still a few things to work out for the Tigers, including a wide open wide receiver. Could have had a passing touchdown certainly on that drive, but they put up another 7. So the Tigers kick off. Bailey backing up, and that'll sail into the end zone.
You know, you think about the margin for error being small when you've got good, competitive components. Here is a corner route that ends up being wide open because of a busted coverage. And, DJ, as he's rolling to the right, has Justin Ross wide open. It's a bust. There's no one within, 15 yards of him. Just got to give him a chance to get his hands on the football. And then the block in the back, as we saw earlier, just extended hands. And Will Taylor probably doesn't need that with, Joseph Ngata probably in position to make the block. And those are the things that I think will drive you crazy as a coach. Kind of self-inflicted wounds.
Fields trying to keep it. They will stack him up. He went absolutely nowhere.
Number 2, Corey Fields on the quarterback keeper.
Well, there's one of the great scenes in all of college football. Death Valley, Clemson, South Carolina. Dave O'Brien along with Tim Hasselbeck and Kelsey Riggs. 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter, and the Clemson Tigers already, Tim, out in front, 14-0. Looking to clean a few things up, but ahead 14-0.
Yeah, clearly, not a flawless performance so far. That being said, yes, very little resistance as they've marched the football down the field twice.
Taking on the Bulldogs of SC State, they are 0-1. Of course, Clemson coming in after that 10-3 loss to Georgia. And once again, it's Alex James on the carry, unable to produce anything, as he will lose 6. We'll get you updated now. They are -6 in total yards. Clemson on the ground, 2 rushing touchdowns on their first 2 drives of the game.
Yeah, and as you look at the -6 total yards, and we see some of these defenders for Clemson standing there, obviously a really good week for that unit against Georgia. And I think Clemson feels very good about their defense and how well they will play and keeping them in games. And, now they get a chance on the 3rd and 7 to play behind this crowd and get after the quarterback.
So Alex James hobbled, number 2 running back, as he came off. Kendall Flowers is back there with Fields, and he's going to roll. A lot of pressure as he fires, and it is incomplete. Intended for Will Vereen, and he was there as he dove ahead, but incomplete. So it's their second straight 3rd and out. Did he catch it? Ooh. From that angle, looked like he may have.
Yeah, I would agree with you, and it's kind of hard to tell. His hands were under that football. That being said, I think they're still would be short had he completed it, which means you're punting, but it's actually a really good job by Andrew Booth, not falling for the double move, keeping it in front of him.
And a whistle right there at the 45-yard line after a 38-yard punt. 5:34 to go here in the second quarter. 14-0 Tigers. Now a fair catch, first down and 10.
Little zone read for the first touchdown by DJ Uiagalelei, and then it's Will Shipley, a highly touted recruit coming in, starting running back, true freshman, does a good job of finding his way in there. And really, Clemson's been able to run the football pretty much at will.
Uiagalelei back to run the offense. Not the only quarterback who's touched it already. He's going to fire this one to a Joe incomplete on the sideline. He continues to work, getting across the 50 for an 8-yard pickup.
And I think these are how you get into a rhythm. Tony Elliott talked about maybe running the football more, but these are RPOs, so they could hand the football off, but you get the look you want, go ahead and throw it out to the perimeter.
Fire to the flat, and an attempted catch as it was bobbled, but incomplete. As he went for E.J. Williams. Interesting story on Williams, too, because he has delayed thumb surgery. It looked like they had lost him. He decided to come back and continue to play.
Yeah, and it's Jacoby Durant, a corner out of SC State that's getting NFL interest, and he just reads that bunch look out there, probably a tendency. He does a great job of kind of jumping the wide receiver screen, and was nearly able to make a really big play.
3rd down 2 for the Tigers. Pace with the carry. Big hole. Stays on his feet. Still rumbling forward. Down to the 20-yard line. That's a gain of 28 on that rush.
Yeah, and the more you run the football, the more confident these backs are going to get. And Kendrell Moultrie really didn't want anything of Kobe Pace. His pace was coming through the hole full speed.
First down 10. Already over 100 rushing yards. And it's Pace again with another carry. Stopped by B.J. Davis, the linebacker, but not before he gains 8. So the Tigers rushing the football time and time again. Second down and 3. Knocking on the door again. Hand off for Pace. Pace to the center. As he is finally dragged down. Some tough yards and another first. That'll be first and goal for Clemson.
Looked like Nathaniel Wilcox. So you see his helmet popped off. I think his helmet pops off, and then he makes the tackle, Dave. I mean,
that's a tough kid. That's a tough kid. 4:05 to go here in the first. And another handoff, and this will be Pace again as he darts to the left. Take a look at the right-hand side. It looks like he takes his own helmet off. And then makes the hit.
It was loose. So you're like, listen, I'm not going to deal with this thing being loose. I'm getting rid of it. And
that's impressive.
That's definitely a defender who playing a little reckless.
Yeah, shaking up a little bit too. Second and goal. And Pace again, the running back. Gonna fire to the end zone and incomplete. He wanted Ross again. He's tried from twice in the end zone. He's been incomplete.
And you're getting zero coverage, which is man coverage, no help anywhere, and you're getting inside leverage on your wide receiver. And I think DJ just needs to put a little more touch on this football. It's got to be a firm throw when you back shoulder somebody, but put a little touch on it, which allows the wide receiver to adjust to it easier.
Uyunglele will hand off again. It's Pace right through. No one stopped him from 2. In for the touchdown. And the Tigers are roaring on the ground. Kobe Pace with another TD for the Tigers. And they lead it 20-0.
Dave, this offensive line group that I think received its fair share of criticism from a week ago about pass protection and lack of ability to run the football, certainly making a statement.
Last 6 years, Clemson has produced 24 all-ACC selections along the offensive line alone. And celebrating another touchdown. 21-0 Tigers. Clemson fans just delighted to be back 80,000 strong, and they bolt out to a 21-0 lead over South Carolina State. Dave O'Brien alongside Tim Hasselbeck and Kelsey Riggs down on the field here at Death Valley. Tigers rolling as anticipated. And now ready to kick off Potter to do the honors again. Richard Bailey down at the 5-yard line for the Bulldogs, trying to get something started. They have been suffocated here in the early going by the Tiger defense. And they'll bring it out to the 25-yard line. Let's go down to Kelsey.
Well, we got to spend some time with SC State head coach Buddy Pugh this week and talk to him about what it means to have his team play in a game like this. If you look at their roster, there are 93 guys on the roster. Only 8 of them are not from the state of South Carolina. He recruits very heavily here, and he says it's a big opportunity for his guys. They know that they think a lot of them are good enough to play at a place like this. So to have the opportunity to come out here is big for his guys. It's big for recruiting, and when they took this field for the first time, all of them had huge smiles on their faces.
I think that includes the head coach, who's a huge Clemson fan and certainly not bashful about letting us know that. Flowers with the carry, and he'll pick up 2. Buddy told us this week, he said, you're always tempted to run your trick plays before they run theirs. The problem is they might be the same plays.
That's why you want to get him out. He's excited for the opportunity, and I think excited for his players to have a chance to see where they stack up. You know, many of these guys played, each other in high school, and maybe get away with one there. As Goodrich is almost able to pull that one down, but they know each other, Dave. You've probably seen each other at camps throughout high school. Wanted to get recruited by Clemson. Maybe oftentimes didn't get that. And with that being said, to play in this stadium, in this environment, it's a neat chance.
NC State's been a good program too. Their last full fall season was 2019. They went 8-3 with a 6-2 conference record. Fields with Flowers in the backfield. 3rd down and 8 coming up. They've been able to test their punting game very early. Fields wants to throw. He will roll and fire, and downfield incomplete. Everybody covered, and covered exceptionally tightly. So they have yet to produce a first down.
You mentioned covered. You look at Bennett Schweiger, the offensive coordinator. He basically said, look, you're looking for inches, not yards on this Clemson defense. They're so fast. They eat up so much ground, and the guys up front are so disruptive. That unit, maybe as good as any unit we've seen Dabo have in the past.
Dyson gets off the punt. Taylor will try to run that along the far side. Got a couple of blocks and cuts back in across the 50. Still on his feet. Still up. Flag down. Finally nudged out of bounds, but a flag down at around the 26-yard line. So we'll wait for the call there, but a huge run back by Will Taylor. Freshman who got into the Georgia game for a play and getting an opportunity here to run, and 51 yards.
Illegal formation. Kicking team. More than 5 in the backfield. 5-yard penalties added to the end of the play. First down, Clemson.
So Taylor rips off a beauty.
Well, what a run back by him. And Tony Elliott said he calls him Maverick because he reminds him of a young Tom Cruise. But he was flying on that return. Really good job of running through some contact as well. And you can see why when they put him in on offense. How do you treat him? I mean, he does have quarterback skills, but as a returner, clearly dangerous as a runner.
Heck of a baseball player, too. Expected to play on the Clemson baseball team as an outfielder. And you can see the array of athletic skills. First down and 10. DJ will fire for the end zone and caught by Ross for the touchdown. And finally, those two hook up for 6. Justin Ross hauls it in the corner of the end zone, and the Tigers continue to roll. (27-0). Ross had 17 touchdowns through his first couple of seasons. And then, of course, the back situation. He was a target very early and is again here into the end zone. And take a look at the run back first on the punt.
First, it's a good job fielding it, looking back into the sun, and then how about that, just running through contact? Clearly the speed, but the ability to stay on his feet and then get down the sideline. And then you go back to this touchdown. I think it's a really nice job by DJ. There's a post in a corner, and I think DJ is trying to work to the post first. Kind of gets hung up on it, but does a good job of coming off of it. And then you see, obviously, Ross does a good job of working open, and then that's an excellent throw right to the face mask of Justin Ross. And DJ doing a good job there, coming off the primary receiver, working to Ross to the corner.
Well, he made his first catch in exactly 600 days in that first game against Georgia, but getting into the end zone, very sweet. And Taylor really made it happen with a scintillating run. 2:21 to go here in the first, 28-0. So the Tigers to kick off again. and racking up big yards early. It will once again come out to the 25. Well, here's our Sunday best for tomorrow. We feature field hockey, the match between number 24 James Madison and number 14 Wake Forest. That's at noon Eastern, followed by the Sunshine State's women's soccer match between USF and Miami, both right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. One app, one tap. A big smile for Ross, and why not after everything he's gone through.
Yeah, it was interesting hearing Dabo say to him, isn't it a blessing to be able to make the mistakes you made last week? And I think it's kind of Dabo's way of maybe lifting somebody up after they don't play as well as they would have liked to.
Feels complete to Perry.
Pass complete to number 86, Richard Bailey.
And picks up 6
Number 22, Trent Simpson.
to bring up 2nd down and 4. NC State just trying to pick up a first down for the first time here this afternoon into the early evening. 2nd and 4. Fields will fire, and that's going to be complete. Onto the near side to Massey. Saw Massey working out in the pregame, and he's impressive.
Well, they're a little undermanned at wide receiver. Shaq Davis, who's probably their best receiver, is out. And so because of that, they've had to move people around, and Rakeem White is in concussion protocol. And so with that, Massey's one of the guys that has to step up, and Vereen kind of needs to play out of position. So, not only are you playing this outstanding Clemson defense, you're doing it with some guys out of position at wide receiver.
And Davis is far and away their number one receiver. Big one, too, at 6'5", about 180 pounds.
Head off to number 27.
So here are some of the missing guys unable to play tonight. And in Davis's case, you're talking about a guy maybe with next level skills.
Yeah, I think they really feel like he is a player that is trying to realize how good he can be if he really works at it. And, you mentioned the size, Dave, and can't coach that.
Out of Summerville, South Carolina. 2nd down, 10 for the Bulldogs. Final seconds here of the first quarter. Corey Fields from Hollywood, South Carolina will zip that pass and complete to Bailey. That's a 4-yard pickup for Richard Bailey, the junior. So putting it in the air a little bit with the short passing game. 3rd down and 6 for the Bulldogs.
And the defensive line, Dave, so disruptive. You talk about just spitting the ball out to the perimeter. Probably the best way for South Carolina State to try to have some success offensively.
So the clock will run down here in the first quarter. SC State will have the football when we come back after the break.
At the end of the first quarter,
Clemson Tigers getting it rolling right away, particularly on the ground, and they have run out to a 28-0 lead. Clemson fans just loving being back here at Death Valley, and Tim Hasselbeck loving the score too, 28-0.
And probably not surprising after last week. I think this team was hungry to come out, especially on the offensive side of the ball, and play significantly better than they did a week ago. And we've seen that, especially in the run game. So probably about what we expected, Dave.
SC State coming out firing. Corey Fields with an incomplete pass. So 4th down and 6. It's really interesting watching how the Clemson Tigers and Dabo Swinney are using Will Taylor. Is this something you think we can expect in the weeks to come?
I really do think so, because think how difficult it would be to defend. We've seen what he can do as a punt returner. So now put him in your offense. They're probably comfortable with him throwing the football. They can clearly do just some of the traditional zone read type of runs. But he can probably, play with wide receiver skills as well. So I think it's just hard to match up. It's also something you have to prepare for.
That one will continue to bounce and down around the 2-yard line. So that's where the drive will start. 55 yards on that punt. So we take a look at the running back player spotlight, brought to you by Arby's.
Yeah, and Kobe Pace has had, his share, and Lynn J. Dixon got involved early, and Shipley clearly, is a guy that they're excited about here, and then here's Will Taylor, designing runs for him as well. So, I think the backs in general, as well as getting DJ involved in the red zone, like we mentioned earlier, they did so well with Trevor Lawrence.
So from his own 2, Uyunglele will start this drive. Rencher into the game at a running back and takes the handoff straight ahead to bring up second down. It'll gain a yard.
As we focus on these running backs, I think it's also important to kind of acknowledge this offensive line. Again, guys moving out of position. Marcus Tate is a freshman that had his first start a week ago, and they still feel pretty good about their group.
Rencher again. Tried to get outside, but tied up and stopped around the 5. 3 rushing touchdowns in the first quarter. First time under Dabo Swinney. That one surprises me a little bit.
You know what it means, Dave? It means they have had awesome wide receivers.
Yes. Even so, and by the way, some great quarterbacks, but want to throw the football and can do it at an all-world level.
When you've got 6'4" fast wide receivers,
yes,
that helps.
3rd down 7 from the end zone. DJ will loft this one up there and almost picked off by SC State. That was Jalen Evans, the free safety, upset with himself that he didn't pick it.
And it's a really bad play by DJ Uyunglele. They're rolling out right. They've got a hitch outside with a corner, and because of the protection, he just kind of heaves it up there. And Williams doesn't really have position, but this ball is so poorly underthrown and left inside that the free safety Evans comes over and is able to make a play on the football, and truthfully should have intercepted it, which would have given remarkable field position to South Carolina State.
So Spires back to punt on 4th and 7. He will launch this one around midfield, and Bailey with the fair catch. 47-yard kick. 28-0 Clemson. On a gorgeous night here at Clemson, South Carolina, and the Tigers with a commanding 28-0 lead against SC State. Great to have you with us, Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, and Kelsey Riggs. And the Bulldogs to have the football, able to move it a little bit last time out. Finally picked up a first down, 1st and 10 here. And Fields will hand off to Flowers. Flowers getting loose, and he will bowl ahead for a first. Andrell Flowers, as mentioned, out of Wake Forest, and he'll gain 17.
That's a really nice run. Does a good job of just putting his foot in the ground, getting up the field, and played 2 games as a freshman at Wake Forest. Opted out of last year, and he was a talented player here in South Carolina in high school, and opportunity to come home and good little run there.
SC State played a shorter spring schedule. They played 4 games, and he was their top rusher. On 1st down and 10, going to air it out, and that's going to be intercepted. Clemson with the pick, and the interception by R.J. Mickens down the left side. And it looks like a flag as well, but that's a 49-yard return. And Fields picked off here in the second. It has mentioned a flag down.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the passing team, number 72. 15-yard penalty is added to the end of the play. First down, Clemson.
That's a really bad decision by Fields. Basically, you're going to get a half-field safety up at the top, playing cover 2. And as this receiver's running down the field, Fields just tries to fit it into that window, and you see Mickens run over the top. There's just no shot that he's got enough arm to get that there, and probably not the right read either. And, Mickens, who's not a starter, comes in and plays like one.
Interception for the sophomore. 1st down and 10 for the Tigers on the drive again. That ball is overthrown, and that ball is going to be picked off. SC State with the interception. And the Bulldogs right off the fingertips. That's Durant, Jacoby Durant, the junior.
Yeah, and God is just running a wide receiver screen, and it's just a really inaccurate throw by DJ. And God is just able to get a hand on it, and tips and overthrows will kill you as a quarterback. And Jacoby Durant, who we mentioned earlier, is a guy that is definitely on the radar of the NFL. Pretty impressive. He wants to keep the football. Look at that.
Can't blame him at all.
Don't believe you're allowed to do that in college football. However, it looks like you're going to have to pry that out of his arms.
Meanwhile, the Clemson quarterback's having a lot of trouble with his throws.
Just been inaccurate.
So first down 10 for the Bulldogs. Flowers trying for the corner. He is knocked out of bounds to bring up second down, gain of 2. Look at Dabo talking to his quarterback. I don't know if talking is the word.
I mean, that was definitely not talking, and I think that just look at some of the mistakes. The missed corner route that he had earlier, the bad decision on the previous possession that should have been intercepted, and then an inaccurate throw that leads to an interception and gives South Carolina State the football back.
Second down 8. They're going to keep it on the ground again. Once again, it's Flowers, the primary back. And not much room to operate there. Just under 12 minutes to go in the second. And a 2-yard gain.
You know, part of what happens when you're a really good football team, I mean, he's upset. Dabo is upset, and he should be. They clearly are the better football team here today. But when you play really good opponents and the talent level is similar, the margin for error is smaller. And when you look at the way the offense played last week, it cost you the football game. It was the interception run back that was the difference in the football game. And now all of a sudden you are given opportunities to an undermanned football team.
3rd and 6. Fields puts it in the air again. Has a receiver. A beautiful throw. That's caught by Vereen for first down. And the best play they have been able to run here at Death Valley goes for 32 yards.
Yeah, it was a beautiful throw. Basically an inside fade by Vereen. So there's all kinds of room to bend him outside, which is what Fields does. And it's a really good job. Tyler Venable is not able to run with Vereen, and safety in the middle of the field. Good read and throw by Corey Fields.
1st and 10 into Clemson territory. It's Flowers on the rush again.
And off to
and he'll gain 1 tough yard. 2nd down 9.
Think about the confidence boost this would be for South Carolina State to come up with a turnover, move the ball down the field, and get some points.
Well, Venable's on the sideline, not too happy right now. Clemson to take on Georgia Tech here next Saturday. Flag down. That's at 3:30.
False start. Offense, number 73. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
That's Cam Johnson, a left tackle. Yellow Jackets lost to Northern Illinois in Atlanta. They were a 19.5-point favorite. And the Tigers will travel to NC State on September 25th. Ohio State went down to defeat today.
Which is big news if you're a Clemson fan, to have things shaken up at the top.
2nd down 14. He'll rifle that one down the sidelines. He wanted Vereen again for another strike, incomplete.
It's kind of, similar to the interception that Fields threw. You got to be really careful. When you get cover 2, you got a safety over the top and a corner playing underneath. And so there is a window there to throw the football, but with the speed and athleticism, these Clemson secondary players, that window closes quickly. And Jalen Phillips, if that ball is kind of thrown a little bit more accurately, Jalen Phillips maybe comes up with that football.
One of the guys in that secondary that the Clemson coaches are raving about, Andrew Makuba, a freshman out of Austin, Texas, started the Georgia game. Pretty extraordinary. Field's going to reverse field, trying to get across the 40-yard line before he goes down. Skalski will drive him to the turf.
by James Skalski.
That's such a good play by James Skalski. He's known as a thumper, a guy, kind of playing in the box with a lot of contact. But this is out in the open field. Does a good job of keeping contained and then kind of forcing it back inside. That's a really good athletic play by the middle linebacker in space.
The only player ever to play in and win 5 ACC championship games. He's back for a 6th. And a short punt and out of bounds. So 9:05 to go here in the second. All Tigers, but looking for more consistency out of their quarterback. Dabo's certainly looking for that. Here at Clemson between the first and second quarters here on this September 11th.
I mean, chills when he did it and the way the fans reacted. And got chills again as we replayed it.
So first down and 10 for the Tigers. Uyunglele back and handing off here. And a big open hole for Shipley. Shipley downfield will pick up the first down and then some. That's a 30-yard gain.
Yeah, and you just look at Shipley's just coming through here. And just look at the movement that they get up front. It's Bockhorst and it's Tate, the left guard. And they just do such a good job of getting movement, creating running lanes. And Shipley, in a much better rhythm than he was a week ago.
DJ to fire. The guy with the catch. They got to the races down the sideline before he is nudged out of bounds. Joseph Ngata picks up 30.
And what an awesome reaction to this football. That's a hard catch to make. Ngata is breaking out. Ball's thrown behind him. For a guy his size to be that smooth running an outcut to reach back, make that catch, stay in bounds, and get vertical. He's a guy I think is about to explode in this offense.
Flag here, yes, 6'3", 220. And when we first started covering Clemson during ACC Network.
Offense, number 56, 5-yard penalty, first down.
And that was a couple of years ago. Everybody was talking about him as the next great receiver at a great receiver school.
I mean, think about it. We got here, and T. Higgins was here, and Justin Ross had just been huge in the college football playoff. And it was like, hey, check out this Joseph Ngata guy. Like, wait, you have other receivers here as well.
Shipley will take it. Shipley darting inside. And it gets down to the 15-yard line. The pickup of 6 yards. Patrick Godbolt with the tackle to bring up second down.
I think you just look at how smooth that was by Ngata. Did you see Shipley's numbers here? I mean, 11 yards per carry for Shipley. Think about what a departure that is from a week ago. 4 carries for 7 yards.
So the Tigers on the drive again. Looking to put it in the air. That's going to be completed to Williams. Williams trying to dive ahead as he was pushed out shy of that pylon, but Williams with the first down, and apparently that thumb is okay.
Well, and how about Williams? Yes, he has that thumb that kind of talk that maybe he's putting off surgery in order to continue playing, and then look at the way he finished that play, finished that run.
Shipley to back again. Going to throw for the end zone. Some contact there, but it's going to be incomplete. Intended for Williams over his head.
Yeah, and I think throws like this. We saw the back shoulder fade to Justin Ross that was thrown too flat. And then now you have, a goal line fade to Williams with really, one-on-one coverage, no one around him. You want to give your guy a chance to touch the football. And thrown out of bounds doesn't allow that to happen.
It's the quarterback going in. DJ for 6 on a 5-yard carry. Now the rushing game has been powerful to say the least in this one for the Tigers. 6 plays, 84 yards, and another touchdown.
And it almost looked like there was a little confusion as Patrick Godbolt kind of got into the backfield. It's a good job by Davis Allen picking him up, and Then it was just follow the running back for DJ.
And Potter for the extra point. 35-0 Tigers.
Well, after a mistake, DJ gets them going again. Nice job by Joseph and got on the catch and run, and then it's Big Cinco punching it in.
Uiagalelei into the end zone, more push-ups, and the Tigers rolling to a 35-0 lead over SC State. Now, there's a lot of talk this week. Clemson, after losing that first game to Georgia, they need some help. They have been getting it today around college football.
It's interesting. You say, hey, they need to get some help after week 1, is the discussion. And and then you look at the top 10, and Dabo made the point to us. He's like, look, there's only been 2 15-0 teams, and we were one of them. And so with Oregon doing what they did against Ohio State, that was probably all the help that was needed to kind of feel like, okay, maybe they aren't going to need any more help going forward. And then you look at the way Notre Dame kind of struggled against Toledo.
Yep, 32-29, trailing late, but rallied to win that game.
I think Dabo has a good perspective about kind of being patient with how the college football playoff shakes out. I think they feel like if they take care of business, they'll be just fine.
Quincy Hill, the number 2 quarterback, sophomore out of Columbia, South Carolina, taking over the offense here for the Bulldogs. They get a big carry here out of Flowers. Flowers down the left side. He's had a couple of good ones here in this first half. That goes for 25.
Number 26.
And you wonder if this is, planned by Buddy Pugh to, give guys an opportunity to play on this stage and maybe get a little something else going offensively. Saw him throwing the ball pregame, was impressed by him. You see, he's 165 pounds. Going to have to protect him with this front that Clemson is putting out there.
Coach Pugh's son, Bud, previously worked in the compliance office at Clemson's athletic department. A lot of mutual respect between these two schools, no question about that. He's going to keep it and pitch it. And on the outside, they will
hand off to number 27.
wind up picking up 6 yards.
And a little bit of the option game, something else that you have to prepare for. I mentioned earlier that this offense has kind of evolved here as they've had different players come through the program, and so we've seen them run some option. And truthfully, when you're kind of outmatched and you're trying to help your tackle block Miles Murphy, maybe the best thing to do is just option Miles Murphy. Block him with the decision whether to keep it or pitch the football.
2nd down 5. Murphy just about impossible to block. He'll stay on the ground again. It's Quincy Hill taking off to the left. A row with the tackle there, the stop after a 4-yard pickup.
Quincy Hill with a little bit of shake too, 165 pounds, but running in between the tackles and is able to put a good move on Tyler Venables. And I would think plus side of the field, maybe 2 down territory inside 5 minutes in the second half.
Yep, 3rd and 1. 35-0 Clemson. Still some issues with the passing attack for the Tigers. Hill taking over a quarterback and going to hand off, and they try and get inside once again.
Hand off to 27, Dante Anthony.
Dante Anthony with the carry. They've been using the defensive back as a running back in this one again. Another carry. 4th down and 1.
Here's the thing. That was an all-out blitz by Clemson defensively on 3rd and 1. And now it's 4th and 2. If I'm South Carolina State, I'm expecting that again, which means you're going to have a better opportunity picking up the first down by throwing the football. I guess they'll take the timeout.
Yep, running that clock down. With 3:42 to go here in the second and a timeout. Clemson Tigers came in having lost back-to-back games for the first time in 127 games. Of course, losing to Ohio State in the Sugar Bowl. And despite the score, the head coach has not been delighted with a few things he has seen tonight.
Well, I think there's probably some elements that he's happy with, much like last week. Some elements he's proud of his group. And, and then other things he's unhappy about. Quarterback decision making, or just the operation and lack of efficiency offensively.
SC State with a long punt and off into the end zone. Punt for 51. Deciding to punt that football. 3:10 to go. We'll take the break. 35-0 the Tigers. Florida State's coming your way next against Jacksonville State. This one 35-0 the Clemson Tigers with 3:10 to go. And looking to get their passing attack in better order. Uiagalelei has been off target from time to time. 9 for 15, 129 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He'll fire this one complete to Ngata. He was already ripped off a long one after a catch.
Pass complete to number 10, Joseph Ngata.
And this should be a good opportunity. You see Joseph Ngata head to the sideline after that catch to get in a 2-minute-like drive for DJ. See if that helps him get into a better rhythm.
Rolling and throwing, and incomplete, out of bounds. Of course, he was thrust into action when Trevor Lawrence missed the BC game and passed for 342 yards. Here's what happened with Ngata a moment ago.
It's hard to tell, and unfortunately, when you look back to last year, whether it was Frank Ladson or Joseph Ngata, it just seemed like guys were banged up at wide receiver, and in the lineup one week, out the next. And I really feel like he's such a talented player. If they can keep him healthy, keep him getting reps, it's only going to improve.
Quarterback will keep it and straight ahead to pick up a first down. DJ with the carry. Let's toss it down to Kelsey.
Tim, you were just talking about some of the injuries last year, and you just mentioned a few names. Also, it was Justin Foster. Also, Tyson Pumachan this spring season tore his Achilles. And Dabo Swinney says there is no better example than a living, breathing example.
Going to air it out. Long throw and incomplete over Joe there, who had an opportunity to make a play, but overthrown.
Dave, no better example than a living, breathing example in front of you of somebody overcoming adversity. Dabo Swinney said that's what perseverance looks like, overcoming things, and it's incredible to see how some of his guys on this team have been able to do that. He hopes and inspires other players.
Second down 10. Coming up on 2 minutes to go before halftime here at Death Valley. And that one intended for Ngata, back onto the field, but incomplete.
And that's a really nice throw. They're running a glance route. It's kind of like a skinny post. And so look how quickly this ball comes out. And then it is right into the chest of Ngata as he turns his head. Look how fast this ball is on him. It's actually really well played by Jacoby Durant. But we've seen make a few plays. That's kind of what Buddy Pugh talked about. Try to make a name for yourself in a game like this. And Durant seems to be doing that.
Third down 10. Dumps it off short. And a fumble. It's loose. And the Bulldogs say that they have it. Duke's the guy who gave it up. And SC State has recovered. So they have forced a couple of turnovers here in the first half. Duke's giving it up as mentioned.
And Duke's the fifth back in this game for Clemson, as they're clearly playing a lot of guys and trying to make a move. The ball gets away from him, gets away from his body, and as that ball gets knocked out, Haltenwanger able to jump on it, and I believe it was Chad Gilchrist. You see the move, but the ball gets away from his body, which is why Gilchrist is able to knock it loose.
So from the 36-yard line, the Bulldogs begin this drive. They have the starting quarterback Fields back in there handing off to Flowers as they keep it on the ground for 2. And now Dabo talking to Michael Dukes.
I think Dabo's going to have enough to be upset about at halftime.
I would agree, even though he's up 35-0, not everything has gone swimmingly, not the way he wants it. He talked a lot about, attention to detail and execution on the offensive side, certainly not the defensive side against Georgia. Fields wants to throw, throws, and that's going to be caught again by Vereen, who has made a couple of outstanding catches. This goes for 19.
Yeah, that's a great catch by Vereen. It's a good job of Fields. The rotation of the secondary kind of brings him away from Fields, and Spector almost able to get underneath it. That's why the ball is thrown a little bit high, and great adjustment by Will Vereen.
Junior out of Little Rivers, South Carolina. He's the target again on the near side and on the 10-yard line. He's become certainly the primary man. That's a 5-yard pickup.
And with 3 timeouts here for South Carolina State inside a minute, the clock should not be an issue for them.
Vereen in this one, 3 receptions, 57 yards, averaging 19 per catch. 2nd down and 5 for the Bulldogs. Here's Fields again. He's going to keep it and throw it, and it's going to be dropped in the end zone. Had a receiver unable to make the catch, and a drop in the end zone.
And it's a perfect play call. Staquel Holmes on the inside slant, and that's just get a great reaction by the linebackers. And Fields, I think he hits him in the face with the football. That's exactly what you want to do. And we mentioned earlier some injuries at wide receiver. You have some younger guys stepping in and playing. And I think now, quite honestly, Dave, if you have one of those trick plays down in the red zone, now might be the time to call it.
Third down 5, less than a half minute to go here, and they will take a timeout.
Timeout called by the Bulldogs.
So the Bulldogs will take one. And coming up on the State Farm halftime report, Jordan Cornette and the gang will get you up to date on all the day's football action in the ACC. Terrific win for Pitt.
Oh, and really, to think they scored 41 points, down in Knoxville. And I think that's another game as we kind of talk about people saying Clemson and, maybe they're going to need some help. Well, the ACC, heading down there, Pitt heading down to Knoxville and doing that type of damage to the Tennessee Volunteers. That's an impressive win and a nice game by Kenny Pickett.
Clemson defense, 0 touchdowns allowed on 16 opponent drives. And Coach Will determined to keep that string going. Coach Brent Venables trying to prevent a TD here. 3rd down and 5. Fields fakes it, throws to the end zone, and broken up by the Tigers to bring up 4th down and 5.
Good job of staying alive in the pocket by Fields. He doesn't have it right away, and kind of good competitiveness in the pocket. I thought there was maybe a chance they were going to get a little flag for pass interference, as Washington seemed like he was kind of fighting through quite a bit of contact.
Dyson Roberts on the field goal.
So here comes the field goal unit, and Dyson Roberts from 26 yards here for the Bulldogs. And that kick is up. And it is good. So they do get points on the board. SC State, they get the field goal from short range to make it 35-3. Time now for our Food Lion Food for Thought.
When you look at the struggles of this Clemson offense, yes, they've scored 35 points, but it's plays like we've seen. Miss Ross in the end zone. Bad decision thrown into traffic. High on a wide receiver screen that gets picked off. Dabo clearly not thrilled with how it was going, and they get them going a little bit as Ngata is able to get down the sideline, and DJ Uiagalelei following Shipley in for a score. But the word Dabo kept using when we talked to him this week was to be more efficient on offense, be more efficient, and it was something that he just really felt they weren't a week ago. And I feel like today, Dave, they have been at times, and then at other times have just looked completely out of sorts.
Well, Kesley Riggs will be talking with Dabo right at the end of this second quarter, and we'll be fascinated to get his thoughts. And a flag down on the kick, and from around the 11-yard line, Clemson to take it out. And
Will Shipley
going to be pushed out as he got across the 40, stopped by Ridge Ford, but a flag down.
Offside. Kicking team, number 80. 5-yard penalties added to the end of the play. First down, Clemson.
12 seconds to go.
Yeah, and Dave, with a great return, then tack 5 yards onto it because of the offsides. Now you're going to have a situation where with 3 timeouts left, yes, you only have 12 seconds, but it's a great opportunity to work on some of the things that you'd want to work on. Kind of a 2-minute, situation. Last couple plays of the half, maybe a long field goal attempt if you can get a big chunk play and call a timeout.
So first down and 10. He's got Rencher in the backfield again. DJ stepping up and flipping it up there, but out of bounds. And a flag as well with 5 seconds to go. Maybe a hit on the quarterback here.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense, number 15. 15-yard penalty, first down.
You see him escape outside the pocket, and there's a lot of people rolling their eyes right now as you kind of put your hands up to make a play on the football and you come down, and is it forcible contact, I think, is the thing that's so hard for officials. But listen, it's going to give an opportunity for a really long field goal try.
Potter to come on. 33 career field goals. And one more and he's into Clemson's top 10. He has 5 of 50 or longer in his career. And has made 12 of his last 13. This will be from 58.
If I were South Carolina State, I would have had somebody deep in case this comes up short, a chance to return it with a bunch of linemen on the field.
This one is up. It is on the way, and that is going to be short. And that's how the first half comes to an end. SC State does get on the board with a field goal of their own for Coach Pugh. 35-3 at the break. SC State will get the football to start the second half here at Death Valley. It's going to be some very interesting conversations. We're going to hear one here in a moment with Kelsey Riggs and Coach Dabo Swinney, who on the sideline at times was very unhappy with his team's play. Other times he was pretty pleased. Let's toss it down to Kelsey.
Coach Swinney, after last week, the emphasis all week at practice was cleaning up mistakes. What will you tell your team in the locker room about their ability to do that?
Well, I love how we played in the first quarter, both sides, special teams. We've had a great return, did a great job defensively, created a turnover. Probably the biggest disappointment was the missed screen. We just very casual with that, and you got a 6'5" guy, we threw it high, got tipped, interception, and then I thought the last series of DJ was a beautiful series on the 3rd and 4, and then we got he found the check down, and then the running back fumbles the ball. Just getting a lot of guys in the game, and good play by Mikey Dukes, but just poor ball security. And put ourselves in a bad spot for them to get the 3. But love how they're playing with good effort, and hopefully we can build on it this half.
Wanted to see more from your running backs as well after last week. What would you assess their play so far?
Well, done a tremendous job. Really proud of Kobe and Shipley. Those two guys have kind of set the tone, and got more to come with those guys.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Kelsey, thank you very much. And after this short break, Jordan and the gang will join you for the State Farm halftime report. Welcome back to ACC Network Primetime Football from Clemson, South Carolina. The Tigers with a 35-3 lead over SC State. Great to have you with us, Dave O'Brien, Tim Hasselbeck, and Kelsey Riggs. Your thought on that first half?
Well, I think a bit up and down. And it's hard saying that when they've scored 35 points offensively. That being said, I think there are things to clean up. And you heard Dabo talking about it at halftime. There's a lot of good, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, I would expect to continue to see the first unit, at least for a drive, to see if they can end on a higher note.
Of course, the defense, Brent Venables, continues to be very, very stout in these first couple of games. And coming off a 10-3 loss to Georgia and allowing only 3 on the field goal in the first half here. Tigers trying to get to 1-1 on the season. They've got Georgia Tech coming up next week and next Saturday at 3:30. And then they travel to NC State on the 25th of September. So a crowd of about 80,000 ready to watch the second half. And let's get down to Kelsey.
Well, Dave, I caught up with SC State head coach Buddy Pugh as he came out, and he said, we have the ball first. We've got to make it count. He said that last drive where they were only able to get 3 points, it still gave them a little confidence in the fact that they can come out here and do something. Also, on the Clemson side, just got word that in the first half, 77 different players saw the field. Looking forward to seeing some more here in the second half, and we could hit a record number. So you guys have fun calling all those names.
77, and we got them all, by the way. We were 100%.
I was about to say, I was well aware of that number.
Fields with the football, Corey Fields, as he flings it on his very first pass attempt of the second half, but incomplete.
I think Andrew Makuba, the talented young safety for Clemson, the first time we've called his name, you referenced him earlier, Dave, as a guy they're really excited about, and here he is. And that ball looks like it should be caught, but Makuba just strong through on the finish. You see him just break the football out. That's a really nice job timing it up. And Brent Venables was interesting. He was saying Makuba, he could play anywhere in the secondary. And when you are saying that about a safety that could play corner, that says quite a bit.
And Brent was talking about the ice in his veins and the great humility he plays with. Bill's trying to get free. And he's stacked up and taken down. Stopped by Skalski. And a 3-yard gain on that one. But he was the first true freshman to start in the secondary for Clemson since 1973 in the season opener.
That's an incredible statistic. And, Brent Venables was saying, I normally, try to downplay things a little bit. Keep them kind of suppressed a little bit when we're excited about a player because you don't want them to get a big head, but it's kind of the work ethic, it's the attitude, and to think that here's a guy that's from Austin, Texas, who decided to come to South Carolina, play Clemson.
3rd and 7 for Corey Fields. Gets it off for Flowers. Andrew Flowers is very active in their offense. And a gain of 3. And here comes the punting team. So 4th down and 4 for the Bulldogs. That's how the game started. Much of the first quarter, they were 3 and out. And Will Taylor back to receive the punt. He ripped one off for 51 yards on a return in the first half. And a punt away. Here comes Taylor again. And Taylor with some problems with it. He falls on his own fumble right around the 35-yard line. Goes for a 35-yard kick. Let's get on to Kelsey.
Well, you guys were just talking about Andrew Makuba, and he has quite the interesting story on how he got here. Actually didn't start playing football until 6th grade and moved to the United States when he was just 9 years old from Zimbabwe. He said growing up, football wasn't a big thing, but when his parents did let him play it, he just fell in love with it in high school, really started focusing on football. And he has a big family, 4 other siblings. He says his mom worked really hard to make sure that he could have everything he wanted. Grew up across the street from Texas, was recruited by them, but came to Clemson without ever visiting here.
And Gata takes the completion. He loses it. He lost the fumble, another one. And SC State saying they jumped on it. Jalen Evans, a free safety. And it's going to be Clemson football. So the Tigers retain possession here with 13-11 to go in the third.
Yeah, and there was a lot of South Carolina State players around the football. I think Ngata's fortunate to get this back. Does a good job making the first man miss, but then look at the ball away from his body, exposed, and it's B.J. Davis who's been really active. And you see what I mean there in terms of that football bouncing around. You would think Jalen Evans had a pretty good shot at recovering that.
From the 42, and the quarterback will keep it. DJ on the run, 35-3 Tigers. And looking together, put together a long drive here. That was just a 2-yard gain. Davis Allen in at the tight end spot. They're going to play a lot of tight ends tonight. Shipley to running back. 3rd down and 1. And a handoff, lots of room up the middle, and he'll pick up a first down and then some. Will Shipley with the carry, and he'll gain 10 yards.
You know, it's just a good example of this offensive line doing a good job covering everybody up, creating running lanes. And Matt Bockhorst, who, you know, has played, you know, left guard, he's played right guard. Now he's playing center. I think he's the guy, even though he's got a ton of experience, and more reps at center is going to be important.
Throwing a completed pass, and indeed they hit Allen just in the game, the tight end, to move the sticks. Davis Allen, a junior from Calhoun, Georgia.
Yeah, and just going back to Matt Bockhorst here, they're just going to get movement here. He just does a good job of kind of staying on his man, getting position, and really finishing to the ground. And look, playing offensive line is hard. Snapping the football and playing offensive line is even harder. And that's a pretty good job by him.
Shipley staying busy off the left side, taken down. The freshman from Weddington, North Carolina. He had just a handful of carries against Georgia. Tony Elliott, offensive coordinator, was telling us throughout the week he planned on running the football more, didn't do it as often as he should have in the loss to Georgia.
Yeah, and I think he also felt like, you know, the backs have a better chance of getting into a rhythm the more they touch it, and you know, that's obviously been the case.
Going to keep it on the ground again. And Bo Collins gets a carry. Collins will pick up just a couple. There's Tony.
You see Tony Elliott. He's a guy that's obviously well thought of in the coaching profession, and his name has come up when NFL head coaching jobs have been available, and you know, in full control of this offense. And I think he's got a great feel. He's got a great way with the players. They respond well to him, and I think he's done a nice job here with this group, especially transitioning into a new quarterback.
Yeah, former wide receivers coach at South Carolina State, where he got his start. DJ straight on. And that'll pick up the first down, 1st and 10. Well, back in 06, Coach Elliott starting out at SC State. And that's when Coach Pugh said, when he hired him, "I do not expect to see you here in 2 years."
Which was an awesome story to hear him tell.
For the end zone, and overthrown. Incomplete. Bo Collins, the intended receiver for the Tigers.
Yeah, and Tony Elliott kind of referenced Goodwill Hunting. Like, hey, look, listen, I see great things in your future. We want to see you go achieve them. And, you know, it was interesting for Tony Elliott. He was so thankful that Buddy Pugh gave him an opportunity because he was getting out of a different industry.
Yeah, Tony was an engineer. He was in the engineering business.
And so to make that transition to coaching and get that opportunity, super thankful for it.
Shipley the back on a handoff. He's still on his feet. He dives into the end zone for a touchdown. 13 yards for Will Shipley and the score.
When we talk about Tony Elliott, it's one of these kind of lag draws. It almost looks like sprint out, but it's a draw that they've run successfully here the last few years, and that was really well timed.
Extra point to make it 42-3.
And again, it's Will Shipley able to punch it into the end zone as Tony Elliott dials up another winner.
Well, Clemson now 6 touchdowns in 6 red zone trips. And take a look at this exchange. Pumachan's about to come in at the quarterback. And it looks like DJ is done for the day.
You would think so. And, 42 points and, a lot of good. Definitely some things to clean up for DJ Uiagalelei. And, next time they get the football, I will be excited to see Tyson Pumachan, who, Kelsey mentioned earlier, tore his Achilles in the spring, during spring ball.
And was cleared in time to play in the Georgia game.
Yeah, which is a remarkable recovery. And, Dabo talked about getting guys on the field. You referenced it earlier, Dave. 77 players played in that first half. And I think we've seen a lot of substitutions on both sides of the ball.
Quincy Hill, the number 2 quarterback, back in for South Carolina State. Trailing 42-3, first and 10 for him. And keeping it on the ground here for Flowers. Uiagalelei, by the way, 14 for 24, 181 yards, a touchdown, and an interception.
Yeah, and I think when you look on the year, hovering right around that 50% completion percentage is not ideal. And it's certainly not, as Dabo talks about, the standard that has been set here. That's definitely not the standard. So I think those are the things that they're going to want to get cleaned up. The interception, thrown into coverage, things of that nature. But I also think that Dabo, much like after the Georgia game, will feel like some of these things are correctable.
Of course, financially, the game is a huge benefit for SC State. I mean, their athletic budget, their entire athletic budget, and the flag down here.
Delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Is about $7 million, and they make $500,000 for coming to Death Valley. So it's a huge part of their athletic budget, but it's also a great benefit to Clemson because they get an opportunity to play so many people tonight.
And I think that's the key as fans watch games like this around the country, is that not only is it giving a great opportunity to South Carolina State players, but it is allowing Dabo to get reps. They don't have preseason in college football. To get reps to some other guys that certainly didn't play a week ago.
Second down, 12, and the pitch. And once again, it's Anthony. He is stopped after a loss of 2. With 8:06 to go here in the third.
Dave, you and I did a game here where 110 players entered into the game. And Dabo has just such a strong feeling that, look, if you practice and you're putting in the effort and you're part of this team, that you deserve an opportunity to play. And not just play, but play in front of your home crowd. And he's always done a remarkable job of giving guys those opportunities.
3rd and 13 for the Bulldogs. Hill dropping back, wants to throw long. He's going to air it out, but nobody home. And incomplete. Intended for Massey. So 4th and 13, and a punting unit on again here for the Bulldogs. Clemson piling up big yards on the ground, and we're going to see Tyson Pumachan, to take over at quarterback, sophomore out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, who played in 7 games in 2020. Around back of the 40 and a fair catch. And a flag down there. 42-3 Clemson. So Pumachan to take over the offense. As mentioned, tore his Achilles in the spring game, but he made it back in time to be cleared for the Georgia game, and he has the football when we come back.
DJ Uiagalelei probably done for the day. Certainly been some good and some bad throughout the day for him. Did a nice job there, climbing up in the pocket, finding Justin Ross on the over route, and certainly this one's Joseph Ngata down the sideline. Ran the football well, especially down in the red zone. It's kind of an element of their offense that's been so good recently, and at about 250 pounds, can do it between the tackles as well. I think all in all, a lot of good stuff, but I think that right there, 14-24, when Dabo talks about being more efficient on offense, I think they're looking for a higher completion percentage, most certainly, out of their quarterback.
Had a couple of open throws, too. One to Ross in the end zone, who could not have been much more open than he was. That's Dixon with the carry.
And off to 23, Lindsey Dixon.
And Tyson Pumachan as the quarterback after a 4-yard pickup there. That was just 161 days ago that he tore that Achilles in the spring game. It's incredible he's back.
That is an incredible recovery, and something that definitely came across as inspiring to this football team. He's out of Avon Old Farms, a boarding school in Connecticut, was there since he was a freshman, and he's a really tough runner with the football.
Wants to put it in the air, short, and completed to Will Sweeney. Let's get out of Kelsey.
Well, you guys are talking about just how inspiring it is to see Tyson back out here, and perhaps no one more impressed than Tony Elliott. He says it is absolutely unbelievable to see what Tyson's been able to do this offseason. His confidence is as high as ever. He's commanding the offense, and he looks comfortable early in this game, earlier in this series anyways.
Lindsey Dixon in the back. And moving ahead with the football, and we'll pick up the first down.
Dave, as we talked about, players playing, you think about what's happened here in the past. And so, Trevor Lawrence was a starting quarterback, but, other guys had opportunities to play. And Chase Bryce kind of turned that into opportunities to go be a starter elsewhere. And you think about Tyson Pumachan is essentially as a younger player playing in front of him.
Pass popped up off the hands of Collins, but incomplete.
And very similar to the one that was intercepted earlier, only this one's on the receiver. Good accurate throw by Pumachan, and ball goes just right through the hands to Dakari Collins. But Pumachan, I think, is a talented enough guy, and if we see him enough, with the way transfer rules are for grad transfers and things like that, who knows what his opportunity ends up becoming.
Going to hit Collins, upended, but continue to move the football here. I am fascinated by quick healers like that. There's something like a Superman quality to some of these guys who come back from really significant injuries, knee injuries, in this case an Achilles. To come back that fast is astounding.
I feel like that was a shot at me for taking 2 years to come back from a knee injury, Dave. But yeah, listen, it is incredible. I think it speaks a lot to the hard work. It's not just about a surgery. It's the rehab and the dedication, as well as, the training staffs at these schools. And I know that they feel like the strength and conditioning program here, as well as the training staff, has done a good job with their players.
Pumachan picking up the first down. He'll air it out again. Short one to Collins. Collins breaks free, gets across the 20, and then steps out of bounds for 22.
It's just a simple hitch. 6 yards, turn around, ball's thrown with good timing, and then a bit of a stiff arm and good strength. It just seems like, 6'3 after 6'3 after 6'3, a guy's playing wide receiver here that they can roll in.
They just come at you in waves like that with the big wideouts who can catch. Down to the 10, it's Collins again. Freshman from Atlanta.
Who's 6'4", by the way.
6'4", 215. So second down and 4 on the 10-yard line. The short passing game. Sweeney again. stops, heading for the end zone. And did he get in? He did not, just short of a touchdown. Very determined run. A flag is down, just inches away from getting it in for 6.
Holding. Offense, number 80. 10-yard penalty, second down.
And it was the receiver, Bo Collins, with the hold.
You know, Clemson gets into an unbalanced look. Extra receivers over to the left to throw Sweeney the little bubble, and you see Bo Collins 80, and now, man, that is not a hold, and, you know, would have been interesting.
Ticky-tack.
Yeah, I'm not sure that much. In fact, I know that wasn't a hold, but.
So backed up to the 14. Here's Dixon. Dixon with a catch, cutting it back inside. Still up, and he's in. From 14 yards, Lynn J. Dixon. And Clemson on the board again.
And a nice drive for Tyson Pumachan to spread the football around, a couple of runs, a couple of quarterback design runs, and then a good job passing the football, which, you know, is something I think that he's done a good job of developing and getting better at doing.
Potter on for the point after, and he will drill it. Another touchdown, 49-3 Tigers.
Clemson rolling. It's Lynn J. Dixon with some good blocking out on the perimeter. Clemson on top.
Of those, baby. 49. The Tigers lead at 49-3. I'm being told by Nadia, who's working with us in the booth tonight, a student at Clemson, that they do have a backup. They do change out the people in the Tiger suit.
Well, normally I would say that you know, maybe is not the way to do it, but considering Dabo, you know, substitutes a lot, empties the bench, I don't see why you can't substitute in the Tiger suit.
Yes, exhausting work, but fun work. And so SDC will have the football here. Kelsey, you've got more on this.
Yeah, I'm keeping a running total down here. Actually, our good friend from Clemson, Brian Hennessy, is 89 players have seen the field for Clemson so far. So we'll keep tallying it. And I'll tell you what, these players on the sidelines are pumped up every time somebody new gets in. The way the sideline erupted after Lynn J. Dixon scored that touchdown, you would have thought they were playing Georgia last week still.
Fields will fire incomplete to bring up 2nd down and 10. Pumachan looked good on that drive.
He really did. I thought he looked extremely comfortable. You were talking about Tony Elliott, kind of raving about his command, and Kelsey, you know, referenced it as well. And yeah, I think there is something to be, you know, being in the system, being coached by these coaches, being developed, and feeling like you can go out there and play well.
Well, he played very confidently. A lot of short passes, but got it in the end zone. Dixon with his first career reception there into the end zone. Into the open field. Here's Anthony. And tripped up on a play. Approaching 3.5 minutes to go. It's an 11-yard pickup. 3.5 minutes to go here in the third. And they do pick up a first down. Fields in this one, 8 for 19 passing, and has been picked off 1 time and has rushed 4 times.
Yeah, and this defense, especially the ones, the starters that he was facing earlier, I think they're going to make a lot of quarterbacks going to have an ugly stat line this season.
1st and 10. Anthony with the carry. And got nothing there. With 3 minutes to go in the third, that loses 1 yard on the carry. 49-3. Tigers got in front very quickly and very early and did it on the ground. A very determined rushing attack for Dabo. Really didn't throw it all that much until about the second quarter. 2nd down and 11. And Corey Fields looking to fire it up. He's throwing long. Going for his wideout, his favorite man, Vereen, who's made some plays in this game.
He's made a bunch of plays. I think that's his third big one. It's a double move. He does a good job of winning. And Nate Wiggins, who's a corner out of Atlanta that Clemson is really excited about, a true freshman, is actually not in bad position, but not really a defense for a perfect throw. And that's what that was from Fields.
Almost 100 yards of catches for Vereen, 4 receptions, averaging 24 yards. Under 2 minutes to go in the third. And a carry by Anthony. Will Vereen, a junior out of Little Rivers, South Carolina, has certainly been the go-to guy in their offense tonight.
He has been, and he's playing the X receiver, kind of the boundary position in their offense. He's normally their Z receiver, but because of injuries, he's been forced to see him down at the bottom of your screen to play that spot, and they might want to think about keeping him there.
They're without their 2 top wideouts, including Shaq Davis, who some believe has an NFL future. He's been out of this one, and Rakeem White, the other top wideout. And this time the quarterback will flip it up there, and it's going to be incomplete on a short toss under big-time pressure. Corey Fields, a dangerous pass there, and incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 9.
Pass intended for number 87. Hezekiah Massey.
Number 1 there, Shaq Davis.
3rd and 9.
You know, he'd love to be in there tonight in front of 80,000 fans here at Death Valley.
Yeah, you feel bad for him that he's missing this opportunity. And, again, Buddy Pugh talking about, but it does give our guys that are playing a chance to make a name for themselves. And you think about Will Vereen's done that, and Jacoby Durant probably has on the defensive side.
Fields with the pitch here. It's Flowers. Flowers trying to get back inside. Nothing doing there. That's going to lose 2.
Flowers brought down.
And, as you look at Kevin Smith celebrating on the play, it just seems like, Clemson has, can roll in 2 deep, 3 deep, and have still so much speed running sideline to sideline to make plays. I do know there's some young players that they're excited about having to get opportunities, to play.
Still 30 seconds left here in the third. Tigers pushing for 50 points and better tonight. 4th down and 10. Going to go for it here. The scramble. Fields will throw that one, and a completed pass. Got a chance maybe to get inside the 10, and they will. It's Flowers to pick up the 1st down to bring up 1st and goal.
Yeah,
16 yards.
Really fortunate there because Fields is rolling to his right, and he's really rolling away from where his receivers are, but it's Flowers who kind of leaks out of the backfield and gets available for his quarterback.
So that is the end of the third quarter. A commanding lead for the Tigers, 49-3, but SC stayed on the drive. Very much. What a sight that is. The sun setting here over Death Valley. 49-3 Clemson all over the Bulldogs here. Great to have you with us as we always enjoy so much coming in here to Clemson. Tigers coming back, bouncing back in a big way after that tough loss to Georgia. Flowers with the carry, trying to slice inside. And got down around a 6 3-yard pickup. 2nd and goal. Ren Venables' defense again trying to clamp down and keep anyone from getting into the end zone.
Yeah, and don't think that even though there's backups, out on the field, the fact that it's 49-3, don't be fooled that they haven't given up a touchdown yet this season. I am sure that it was something they talked about as we flip to the 4th quarter.
2nd down and goal from the 6-yard line. Fields fires too high and incomplete. So 3rd and goal coming up.
That's a little bit what I mean. Look at him. Look at you would think he's screaming, get your hands up. You're there, get your hands up, get a piece of that football. And if I think that he coaches one speed. There's some players that play one speed. 47 standing right behind him is one of them. But I'm pretty sure that Brent Venables coaches one speed, and he'll do everything he can to prevent a touchdown.
I think you're right about Skalski as well. His 58th career game. Now watching from the sidelines. 3rd and goal. Fields flushed out. He's going to tuck it, gets inside the 5, and takes a pretty good hit. So denied. Corey Fields with the carry.
You just look at effort to the football. As Corey Fields decides to run, look at all of the orange just come swarming in and close in on Fields. And see, that happens, Dave, when you coach a certain way. When you coach, this is what the expectation is in terms of hustle and effort to the football. And so it doesn't matter if we're 3 deep that are out on the field. That's the type of effort and hustle you're going to get.
So for the Bulldogs, 4th and goal. Under 13 and a half to go in the contest. And they are going to take a timeout.
Dave, just like Brent Venables is trying to keep these guys out. They have a very proud defense. There's no doubt about that. You look at this situation for South Carolina State. You have to score a touchdown. Kids growing up in this state, the opportunity to score a touchdown here for a South Carolina State player in this stadium, something that you maybe talk about for a long time.
We talked about how important a game like this is for SC State and the kind of game that could go away in the very near future. They do have some fans who have made the trek from Orangeburg, which is about 170 miles from Clemson.
With the talk about those games going away, I think there's so there's kind of 2 sides to every coin. When you talk about some of these decisions, you mentioned earlier what it means to the athletic budget. South Carolina State, we talked about what it means in terms of developing players at a program like Clemson with playing time, and also some positives with it.
Fourth and goal, firing and dropped, and it's incomplete right there at the goal line. Boy, they had a chance to punch it in. Clemson denies. Yancey Washington, the tight end, he had an opportunity.
Yeah, and it's Keith McGuire. They're able to get his hand on it enough, and the Clemson defense holds.
Back at Clemson, Tigers on top 49-3 over South Carolina State. Inside their own 5-yard line, they'll begin this drive after stopping the Bulldogs right at the goal line on a pass play. Pumachan back in there as the quarterback. Will throw to the near side, and a completed pass to Collins. Was he in?
Let's see if he's in. I think that right foot maybe is out of town, but if they move fast enough, looks like they're going to get the play off.
And they do move fast. That was an 11-yard pickup. Pumachan going deep, looking for a long strike, and what a catch on the interception. Outstanding play by guess who? Jacoby Durant, who has been everywhere tonight.
Listen, I keep going back to it. And Buddy Pugh, it's just a go route. And, it's an inside release. But look at the job. It's a great job by Durant staying with him. And then you said catch, Dave. What a catch is right. That's an outstanding catch if you're a wide receiver. What an incredible play. And to hear Buddy Pugh talk about, hey, the NFL interest in Jacoby Durant, and you think about what he has done tonight, that's remarkable. Good for him. And, Pumachan, who looked like he was trying to get a sense of the angle Collins set for him. probably would like to see his receiver kind of fight through the contact a little better.
The Bulldogs shuffling the quarterbacks again. This time it's Quincy Hill giving off to Anthony, and a flag down on the play. 78,609 on hand tonight.
Illegal formation. Offense. More than 4 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
So it'll be a first down with 12:51 to go in the game.
If I can just go back to Jacoby Durant, we mentioned at the top that Darius Leonard was a great player in this program and had some defensive guys and some Hall of Famers, defensive players. To go up against these wide receivers and have the night that he's had, no doubt is going to grab a lot of attention from the next level.
He's played tremendously well. On the carry, it's Walker, Tyrese Walker. And he will lose a yard on that one. Here are his 2 picks tonight, talking about Durant.
Yeah, does a good job, on the tip ball. And this play is outstanding. And, we talk about, these games and what do they mean? Well, I'll tell you, 14 made this game count quite a bit tonight. Still has more opportunities, and that's pretty cool to see.
Junior from Lamar, South Carolina. Coaches say he could be very special. It's a program, the Bulldogs, who have put 4 men into the NFL Hall of Fame. Hill on the carry. We've also produced, we talked about Darius Leonard of the Indianapolis Colts, but also Deacon Jones, Harry Carson, Donnie Shell. You were there when he was in.
I was at the Hall of Fame induction when he went in, and was there to see Steve Hutchinson, the guard, go in, and Donnie Shell was there. And there was a nice South Carolina State contingent cheering him on. And, it's kind of interesting. And when you compare that to Clemson, a little bit surprising. But they certainly have had some success, and obviously those guys on the defensive side.
3rd down, 14. It's Hill trying to scoot his way up near midfield. And gains 9 back.
Tackle on the play by number 54.
Jeremiah Trotter with the stop. Freshman linebacker whose dad was a 4-time Pro Bowler in the NFL. And was the number 7 overall recruit in the nation, Jeremiah Jr.
Teammates with Jeremiah Trotter at the Eagles, and sounds like Junior is a lot like his dad. I think probably runs a little bit better than his dad did, and I know they're excited about what he's going to become as a player here.
So the Bulldogs with a short punt and no fair catch, and good coverage there by SC State. It's a 37-yard punt. College Football Hall of Famers Banks McFadden, 1958, a College Football Hall of Fame inductee. Terry Kennard in 2001. Jeff Davis in 2007. And C.J. Spiller, 2021 College Football Hall of Famer. Let's go down for more to Kelsey.
Well, Dave, I got to catch up with C.J. Spiller yesterday, and although he's known about the Hall of Fame ceremony for a while, he said it's been an emotional week reflecting on what got him to this point. He talked a lot this week about his late grandmother and what she meant to him, got very emotional talking about her, and also said this place, how much it means to him. The fact that he had the opportunity today to be honored in front of all of these people here in the home opener in Death Valley, the place that made him who he is today. It was really a special moment for him, special especially because his daughter was by his side as well.
And on to number 19, Michael Duke.
She really don't get a full grasp because she was young when I was here at Clemson, so now she's 15 years old, and she's really going to kind of get a sense of, I guess you say the type of player I was, but most importantly, hopefully she get a sense of the type of person I was. That's the thing that hopefully that she's able to take away from Saturday. I know she's going to be happy. I know after the game, once we get back home, I know she's going to give me a hard time asking for autographs or something, wanting to take a picture, but hopefully she's able to take it in because, she truly was, part of the reason I went out and tried to play to my best ability out there on the field.
Really special moment there for CJ at the half when he was honored, and even more special because he's able to come out of the tunnel. He's the running backs coach now. He's taken over that position, and Tony Elliott said it has been really special for him to see CJ grow into that role and now to have these running backs be mentored by a guy like CJ Spiller.
Flag down here. It was a wonderful ceremony, and one of the things, every time we come to Clemson,
false start, offense, number 55. 5-yard penalty.
And we see something like this, like a great player honored. To hear the fan reaction, I mean, every one of the 80,000 fans stood up and gave him a tremendous ovation.
That's a great point. I think we were here when LaVon Kirkland was honored, and then C.J. Spiller honored, and the reaction, and there's definitely some emotion. His daughter, who definitely old enough now to appreciate and see how cool is that, her father to be honored in that way. And I think Dabo Swinney also was pretty excited about it. Recruited CJ out of high school and was a highly, plenty of accolades. I believe a 4-star recruit and then first rounder and some success. So I think it's kind of a full circle thing here that was really neat to be a part of.
Dabo came out. He was part of the ceremony. He came out, shook his hand, and they exchanged a couple of laughs. And wonderful how it's done with that family culture at Clemson.
What's interesting about CJ's, kind of these backers, so good in the passing game, so good in the running game, but was also an excellent returner, and good for him.
So the Tigers haven't done this a whole lot today, but forced to punt. And going to down that right around the 40. Swanson with the punt goes 43. So this was a marvelous moment. There have been many of them. Here in the home opener for the Clemson Tigers, they're on top. Big 49-3. ESPN app today is capped off by our ACC Network primetime football matchup presented by Geico as Jacksonville State takes on FSU. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. Well, the Bulldogs are going to go long here with a pass attempt, and again, it's Vereen they attempt to connect with, but incomplete.
Yeah, and interesting decision for Florida State. Mackenzie Milton comes in, and just an incredible story. A gruesome knee injury. Was at UCF, and it's the backup to Jordan Travis. Jordan Travis' helmet comes off, and all of a sudden Mackenzie Milton enters into the lineup, and you almost had a feeling that Mike Norvell just felt like there was something special. And if you've ever watched Mackenzie Milton play, just kind of one of these guys that is a find-a-way quarterback. It isn't always going to look pretty, but it doesn't matter if you have to throw it underhand or behind your back. He's going to find a way to get a completion or make a play. And it seemed like, the Seminoles kind of rallied around it. Come in and you see the knee brace just against this Notre Dame team, and that's what I mean. Just kind of finding ways to make things happen. Guy coming right at you, drop the arm down to find a throwing lane, and they rallied around him, and you could almost just feel the energy of him being in the game, and it's probably part of the reason that we're going to see him right after this.
Yeah, really felt like he changed the energy in that game. 3rd down and 12. Back for Hill. He's straight on with the carry. He'll pick up a first down and plenty more.
Number 14, Quincy Hill.
So Quincy Hill with a long 21-yard rush. And 7.5 minutes to play here in Death Valley.
Well, I think Quincy Hill's done a nice job with his opportunities, Dave. He just not sure how much he expected to play, but has certainly gotten his fair share of the snaps and did a good job early running the options, made a couple throws, and nice scramble there.
Yes, 6'2", 165-pound sophomore from Columbia, South Carolina. He has played a lot tonight. Corey Fields is the number 1 quarterback. And staying on the ground, they'll go to Tyrese Walker again.
42, Tyrese Walker.
And that'll be a gain of 2.
So one of the things I thought was neat about what Dabo said about, guys playing and deserving the opportunity to play was that you can't tell a difference terms of who's on scholarship and who's not. And sometimes people will say that, but it feels like that's the case with the way guys are kind of cheering for these players and the opportunities that they're having to play in front of their home fans.
Quarterback will keep it and trying to duck underneath his hill, but he's denied. Let's go down to Kelsey for an update.
Well, Tim, you just mentioned all the players that are playing. The latest update is Clemson has had 94 different players get in and get an opportunity, and definitely trying to soak up the moment. Dabo Swinney told his guys this week that they needed to not take anything for granted when they were out here on this field. He said South Carolina State has a big opportunity to come play here, and their guys are going to be soaking everything up. Their guys are excited about the police escort that they'll get to be a part of. So he told his team, make sure that you cherish every moment that you get out here on this field.
Yeah, it might be a small thing for a lot of big programs like Clemson, just a police escort, but that's a big deal for the Bulldogs. That's fired over the middle and incomplete. They're looking for a big strike. Jawan Moody, the intended receiver, but incomplete.
Well, listen, just even as you see Jeremiah Trotter Jr., he was unsure. A lot like his dad. Listen, watching South Carolina State in preparation for this game, just watching them last week. Look, they're playing in a stadium that is a track around the field. It's just far fewer seats for fans to watch, and they certainly weren't as full. And so there is an excitement for all players to play in an environment that is like this. Dave, you've said it a number of times. Hard to beat this experience in college football, period.
It is right there at the very top. Any Saturday in the college football season. Just amazing. And tonight, 80,000, just shy of that. Another quarterback coming on. That'll be Hunter Helms, the walk-on. Among the great traditions here at Clemson, they're on top here 49-3 over SC State. The rock and, of course, the run down the hill. We have our own traditions. We come in the night before the game and we grab a great meal over at Rick Irwin's. We see our buddy Eric over there. He takes care of us. Have a great steak. Unfortunately, Tim didn't make it in this time. Next time.
You guys did you send me an invite?
I'm not sure what happened with that.
I remember the invite. All of a sudden, Dave, you lost my number?
Ball start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Believe me, on your behalf, we took care of everything. we took everything on our table and then some. Hunter Helms in. Young man who chose to walk on at Clemson despite multiple scholarship offers at other schools. Let's go down to Kelsey.
Dave, I was just going to say I could have really used Tim's help, especially with the desserts, as I was sitting there in between you and our producer, Ben Hogg, and you guys just seemed to think that I was the one that was going to take care of all of them. So, Tim, I could have really used your support there.
I was personally very impressed with Kelsey. Delano going outside after that reception, and will pick up 12 yards. Kelsey, in more ways than one, is absolutely the real deal.
Felt like that was a little bit of a shot at my physical fitness that I got brought up with dessert.
No, not at all. We had a great time. Just wish you were there. And Shipley will take that carry. It's actually Rensher on the ground. And coming up on the 4-minute mark of this one. Tigers exploding early and doing it on the ground for the most part. We have seen several quarterbacks in. And right now it's Helms, who tossed a pair of touchdown passes at Georgia Tech last year. On 2nd down and 6, Rensher with a carry. And took that one right up the middle for a first down. So, I mean, if you count Taylor, I mean, 4 guys have been quarterback tonight.
Yeah, I like this. I like the guys paying attention to the guy that's out there playing, because when you're playing, that guy's paying attention, trying to be helpful to you. And I think it speaks to the culture that they're trying to build here, or have built here.
Helms will fire, but that one off the fingertips and incomplete. Who's Swinney, the intended receiver?
That's intended for Drew Swinney, incomplete.
You know what's interesting, too, these guys don't get reps running their offense. They run a scout team. And so when you're in the game at this point, you're doing it based on having watched other guys get coached doing it, which, when you see good plays like runs we've seen or completions, I think it says a lot about the talent level that they have as backups and guys running their scout team.
Tosses that one right into the sideline where all of those guys have gotten in the game. Seemingly every single one of them have played here tonight in a 49-3 game. Moving up to like 100.
Just even managing people in the game without duplicate numbers, that in and of itself is a challenge.
I think Clemson does a couple of wonderful things for their walk-ons. Everybody gets a tailored suit, for example. The scholarship guys, incomplete, intended for Max May. But the walk-ons, Dabo makes sure that the walk-ons get a tailored suit as well, and they eat the same way that the scholarship guys do.
Yeah, and I think obviously the background of being a walk-on himself, understands what that is like. He said they were in a different locker room when he was in college at Alabama. Walk-ons over here, scholarship players over here, and they definitely have created an environment that it doesn't feel that way. And he said, I can't imagine that there is a program that treats walk-ons better than they do here at Clemson.
Swanson with the punt. And pretty good coverage here by Clemson on special teams, a 40-yard punt. Well, Extra Yard for Teachers Week is an annual effort led by College Football Playoffs that brings college sports together to support and honor great teachers across the country. And if you'd like to learn more about Extra Yard for Teachers, follow at CFP Extra Yard. Brockhurst there in the center, as he should be. Actually gave a shout out to one of his favorite teachers as well. Case Walker again.
I just want to give a shout out to my 8th grade English teacher, Miss Pfeiferick at Hopewell Junior School. Actually, because of her, I still to this day write in cursive. But she taught me so many more lessons than that and always pushed me to work hard, and I've always really appreciated that.
That's very classy.
Listen, a guy at a St. Xavier High School in Cincinnati going back to middle school and still writing in cursive. It's just typical, right? Like a guy that size with tattoo sleeves writes in cursive. I bet she's got amazing penmanship.
Walker again on the carry to bring up third down. Barkhurst and his bio, 6'4", 315, a senior, and a business administration major and a master's.
Not a lot of Ohio kids, but at a St. X in Cincinnati, a good high school program. Luke Kuechly, who played for the Carolina Panthers, obviously a great player from that high school. And, Bachorst kind of had to wait his time a bit. He's kind of like that 6th offensive lineman in for a few years, and now a bit of the elder statesman and center and kind of leader of that group.
Hill's going to take it. Looked like a busted play, and down he goes at the 25-yard line.
That wasn't much of an option quarterback, Dave, but I will tell you that running the option and looking to pitch the ball and having the pitch man not be there isn't good. And that's no bueno. But like that is not good. And Quincy Hill, who's like, wait a second, and I got a lot of orange running at me. And then you saw him get to the sideline, kind of pat his chest like, actually, that was me who went the wrong way, not you.
So approaching 1 minute to go here at Death Valley, and another punt for the Bulldogs and a fair catch. Drew Sweeney and a 47-yard kick. We want to let you know that FSU and Jacksonville State are coming up as soon as this one is done.
I can't wait to see. I like the decision to play Mackenzie Milton, and I'm excited to see him play. Get a whole game and let him get comfortable, not have him, run and grab his helmet, sprint out on the field, and feel like you got to keep going. So it was so much fun to watch at Central Florida and see him come back from that really, really bad knee injury. Good for him.
Taylor will take it. It's actually Duke's taking it. So under 1 minute to go.
But you're right, Will Taylor in a quarterback, which was interesting because we saw him so early in the game, Dave, but we saw him early in the game kind of as a gadget quarterback, if you will. Now I think we're going to see him as a more traditional quarterback, and ball on the ground.
He's going to recover that. And clock running at 34 seconds to go.
I think we've got to make Maverick kind of stick to. I like that nickname by Tony Elliott.
Well, who wouldn't want to be called Maverick, by your offensive coordinator? And that may very well stick. There's a lot of skills there for the freshman. And on the carry, Taylor will take it. Got some moves there in the final seconds here. So Tigers are going to bounce back in a big way. Certainly anticipated for Dabo and his team. And they're going to win this 49-3. For Tim Hasselbeck, Kelsey Riggs, and our entire crew, I'm Dave O'Brien. Now we send you to Doak Campbell Stadium in Tallahassee, Florida. Jacksonville State taking on the Florida State Seminoles.